Hey, I'm back with another video. This is going to be the last video of today in playlist of technology. We are reading about an ultimate successful rule to being a successful rules for being a successful. Why say I'm ultimate? We have already covered 3 point. I have already covered 3 point. I have one third, fourth point. Get good at sales. Self belief all is more not sufficient. You have to be able to convince other people of what you believe. All great career students some degree become sales job. You have to evangelize your plans to customer, prospective employee, the press, investor, etc. They require an inspiring vision about great communication skills, some degree of charisma, and evidence of execution ability. Getting good at communication, particularly written communication, is investment worth making. My best advice for communicating clear is first make sure your thinking is clear, then use plain and concise language. The best way to go at sales is genuinely believe in what you are selling. Selling what you truly believe is feels great, and trying to sell snake oil feels awful. Getting gold at sales is like improving at any other skill. Anyone can get better at what deliberate practice, but if for some reason, perhaps because it feels distasteful, many people treat it as something unlearnable. My other big sales tip is show up in person. Whatever it is important. When I was first starting out, I was always willing to get on a play. I was pretty frequently unnecessary, but 3 times to lead to a career making turning point to me that would have gone another way. My other big sales tip is to show up in a person. Show up in person, whatever it is, whenever it's important. When I was first starting out, I was always willing to get on a plane. Was frequently unnecessary, but 3 times it led to a career making point for me. But otherwise, yeah, make it easy to take risk. Most important, overestimate risk is an estimate reward. Taking risk is important because it's impossible to be all right all time. You have to try to make things and adapt quickly as you learn more. It's often easier to take risk early in your career. You don't have too much loss potentially to gains once you gotten yourself to a point where you have to basic obligation covered. You should try to make it easier to take risk. Look at a small bets. You can make sure you have lose 1x if you are wrong, but you make direct x if it work. Then make a bigger bet in the direction. Don't save up for too long. Through the advice, we often notice the problem with founders that they have spent a lot of time working at a Google or Facebook. When people get used to comfortable life, a predictable job, a reputation of succeeding at whatever they do, gets very hard to leave the behind. People have an incredible ability to always match their lifestyle next year's salary, even if they who leave temptation to return are great. It easy and human nature to prioritize short-term gains and convenience over long-term fulfillment. But when you aren't in the treadmill, you can follow your hunches, spend time on things that might turn out to really interesting. Keeping your life cheap and flexible for long as you can is a powerful way to do it, but obviously come with a trade-off. Focus is a force of multiplier on work. Almost everyone I ever met would wish else by spending more time thinking about what to do on focus on. It's much more important to work on right thing than it work many are. Most people waste most of their time on stuff they don't matter. Once you have figured out what to do, be unstoppable about getting your focus. Focus is force multiply on work. Almost everyone I ever met would be well served by spending more time thinking about what to focus on. It's much more important to work on the right thing than it work many hours. Most people waste most of their time on stuff that doesn't matter. Once you figure out what to do, you're not stable about getting your small handful of priorities accomplished quickly. Be unstoppable about getting your small handful of priorities accomplished quickly. I have yet to meet a slow moving person who is very sure. I have yet to meet a slow I Once you have figured out what to do, be unstoppable. But getting your small handful of priorities accomplished quickly. I have yet to meet a slow moving person who is very successful. 10 point. Work hard. You can get about 90%. 9 percentile in your field by working either smart or hard is still accomplishment, but getting to a 99 percentile requires both competing with other very talented people who will get ideas and be willing to work a lot. Extreme people get extreme result. Working a lot come from huge life trade-off and perfectly relational to decide not to do it, but has a lot of advantage. As in most cases, momentum compound and success beget success. It's often really fun. One of the great joy in life is finding your purpose, excelling it, and discovering that your impact matters so much. Than YC founder recently impressed great surprise about how much happier and more fulfilled he was after leaving his job at a big company and working toward his maximum possible impact. Working hard at it sounds to be celebrated. It's not entirely clear to me why working hard has become a bad thing in a certain part of US, but this is certainly not the case in other part of the world. The amount of energy and driven exhibited by entrepreneurs outside the US is quickly becoming a new benchmark. You have to figure out how to work how to work hard without running out. People find their own strategy for this, but one that almost always work is find work with your doing with people you enjoy spending light time. I think people who pretended you can be a super successful professionally without working most of the time are doing this disservice. In fact, work stamina seems to be one of the biggest predictor of long-term success. One more thought about working hard to do things beginning of your life career. Hard work compound like interest, and earlier do it, the more you have for benefit for it. Also easier to work hard when you have fewer other responsibility, which is frequently but not always the case when you are young. Which is frequently but not always be the case. It is easier to work hard when you have fewer other responsibility, which is frequently but not always the case when you are young. I believe that it is easier to be hard a startup and it can easy startup. People want to be part of something exciting and feel that their work matter. If you're making progress on an important problem, you will have a constant tailwind of people wanting to help you yourself grow more ambitious, and don't be afraid to work on what you really want to work on. If everyone else is starting more companies and you want to start a general editing company, then you do not do that don't second guess it. If you follow your curiosity thing that seems exciting, you will often seem excited to other people too. Be willful. A big secret is that you can bend the world at your will. It's surprising. Okay, we are moving with a quite good speed already at around 8 minutes 30 seconds. Okay. Do you know how to sell Sam Altman? I'm a great fan of it. I'm a great fan of him. He was genius. Wow. He often worked. He was president of a little earlier being a CEO of Jet, OpenAI. He was the president of I Combinator, a venture capitalist company which used to fund startup, most of them startup in Silicon Valley and around the world. They have they manage assets around $30 billion in their portfolios. Mainly, mainly fund startup related renewable energy and renewable energy and startup related energy and technology like AI, machine learning, or automation. He was once CEO of not CEO, president of Y Combinator. Now he is CEO of OpenAI that created ChatGPT. Currently, for GPT-4 is going on. Yeah, GPT-4 model. They are using GPT-4 model in order to predict the answer of the user. Main feature has been added till since the launch since the launch November 2022. Like plugin, they have added different plugin. User can use their plugin if they upgraded or got premium. They can use ChatGPT 4. If they are not, they still can use ChatGPT 3.5, which is have less token as compared to GPT 4. But yeah, it can give answer, quite good answers, and still is best one. They're consistently adding new feature month by month. Like you can share link of your answer. Means once you generate an answer, you can share that answer to anyone, and you can keep record of that number of people, how many number of people have shown that answer. When things are keep upgrading, that I'm saying, he's a gentleman, quite good responsibility, and he's quite responsible and done his job with quite fantastically. Here, almost always the people who say I'm going to be keep going until this work, no matter what the challenge is, I'm going to figure out them out, go and succeed. There is a persistent long enough, give themselves a chance for luck to go this way. Airbnb is a benchmark for there are so many stores. They tell that I wouldn't recommend trying to reproduce, keeping my route credit card in those 9 slots, 3 ring window. Pages get used to be Westwall card, eating taller, store care, schedule for every meal, battle after the battle, powerful regiment industry and no one. But they managed to survive long enough for luck to this way. Be willful, you have to be optimistic, have belief. This is a personality trait that can be improved with practice. I have never ever met a successful pessimistic person. Be hard to compete with. Most people understand that the companies are more valuable if you are difficult to compete with. This is important, obviously true, but this is whole true for you as an individual as well. If you if you do if what you do can be done by someone else, it eventually will be for less money. The best way to become difficult to compete with is to build a leverage. For example, you can do with the personal relationship by building a strong personal bond or getting good at interaction with multiple different fields. There are many other strategies, but you have to figure out some way to do it. Most people do whatever most people they hang out with, they mimetic behavior is usually the mistake. If you're doing the same thing everyone is else doing, you will not be hard to compete with. Build a network. How many people you will get rich by owning things we internally driven. Upward. Let's complete this, brother. We are on 10th part. Yeah, 11th. Build a network. Great work with required team. Developing a network is challenging. People to work with. Sometimes closely, sometimes loosely is an essential part of career. Great career. The size of the network is really talented people you know often become the limiter of what you do accomplish. An effective way to learn, build a network is to help people as much as you can. Doing this over a long period of time is what led to most of the best career opportunity there. An effective way to build network is to help people as much as you can. Doing this over a long period of time is what led to most of my best career opportunities and their for best investment. I am continually surprised how often something could happen to me because of something I did to help a founder 10 years ago. One of the best ways to build a network is to develop a reputation for really taking care of your people who work with you. Be overly generous with sharing the upside. It will come back with 10x. Also learn how to evaluate what people are created and put them in those roles. This is the most important thing I ever learned about the management, and I haven't read much about it. You want to have a reputation for pushing people hard enough that they accomplish more than they thought they could, but not so hard they went out. Yeah, Everyone is better at something than other. Refine yourself by your strength, your weakness. Acknowledge your weakness and figure out how to work around them. But don't let them stop you from doing what you want to do. I don't do X because I am good at Y. It's something I hear from entrepreneurs surprising often. They almost always reflect a lack of creativity. The best way to make up your weakness to hire complementary team members instead of just hiring people who are good at the same time. I particularly value a part of the building our network is to get good at this discovering undiscovered talent quickly, spotting intelligence, drive, creativity, get much easier with percentage. The easiest way to learn to just meet a lot of people and keep track who goes into impress you. Remember that you are the most looking for a rate of improvement. Don't overvalue experience of current accomplished. I try to always ask myself what I meet someone new. Is this person a force of nature? Is this pretty heroic of finding people who are likely to accomplish great things? A special case of developing a network is finding someone eminent to take a bet on you. Ideally, early in your career, the best way to no surprise is to what on a way be helpful. Finally, remember to spend your time with most positive people who support your ambition. You get rich by owning things. The biggest economic acceleration of childhood was that people get rich by high salaries. Though there are some expectation, entertainer, for example, almost no one in the history of the Forbes list has gotten there with a salary. You get truly rich by owning things that increase rapidly in value. You can be a piece of a business, real estate, natural resource, intellectual property, or other similar thing. But how somehow or other you need to own equity something instead of just selling it. Uh, I don't want this page. Yeah. You can piece of business, real estate, nature resource, intellectual property, or other smaller thing. But somehow or other, you need to equity or something instead of just selling time. Time only scales linearly. The best way to make things that increase happening value is by making things. Most people are primarily extremely driven, be internally driven. They do what they do because they want to impress other people. This is bad for many reasons, but there are many two more important ones. First, you will work on consciousness, ideas on conscious career track more than you realize. If you other people think you are doing the right thing, they will probably prevent you from doing truly interesting work. And even if you do, someone else would have done it anyway. Second, you will usually get risk calculation wrong. You will very focused on keeping up with other people and not falling behind in a competitive game, even if you in the short term. The smart people seem to be especially at risk of such extremely driven behavior. Being aware of it helps, but only a little. But you are likely to have a work super hard to not fall in the mimetic trap. The most successful people I know are primarily internally driven. They don't primarily internally driven. They do what they do is impress themselves because they feel completed to make something happen in the world. After you have made enough money to buy whatever you want, and accordingly that it is tough for fun at to get more. This is only force I know that will continue to drive at a higher level of performance. This is why the question of person motivation is so important. It is first thing I understand about someone the right motivation. But you know what, when you see it, Jessica Livingstone and Paul Graham are my benchmark of this. Why see widely mocked for the first few years, and most one thought it would be a big success when one of the first started, but thought it would be great for the world if it were. I love helping people and work on bias. Eventually, you will decide success by performing excellent work in areas that are important for you. The sooner you get started off it in a direction, the further you will get able to. It's hard to be blindly successful at anything you aren't obsessed with.